Let's talk about the biggest moves in the transfer portal. Now, the window is closed. It opened December 9th and it closed on December 28th. Of course, the teams that are still in the bowls or the playoffs will get an extra 5 days whenever their season ends. So it's not quite over completely, but for all intents and purposes, we're talking biggest moves on this video. And let's start with quarterback John Mathieu, who he left Washington State a little bit late to hit the portal, but once he did, he instantly became the portal's #1 ranked quarterback. Now, of course, leaving Washington State, he's heading to Oklahoma, where Jackson Arnold, he left that spot open as he heads to Auburn. So the game of musical chairs at the quarterback position keeps on spinning, and we got John Mathieu, the #1 quarterback in the portal, heading to Oklahoma. The second biggest development in the portal was wide receiver Singleton Jr. He's headed to Auburn, leaving Georgia Tech. Sophomore season just blew up with the Yellow Jackets, and really when he hit the portal, he became instantly one of the most coveted players in there, but it was Auburn. Auburn, yes, they are loading up on offense with Jackson Arnold on board. Also, Ashton Daniels. They add Singleton Jr., and the expectation on the Plains are through the roof. Moving on, wide receiver Micah Hudson. He commits to Texas A&M. Remember him? He was a 5-star in the 2024 class, signed with Texas Tech over Ohio State, Texas A&M. Just everybody in the country was really in on Micah Hudson, but he quietly committed to Texas Tech in the summer. There was nothing from him. No visits, no rumors, no nothing. But one season in Lubbock was enough for him to hit the portal, and he is now heading to Texas A&M. Another big one at the wide receiver position is Duce Robinson, #7 ranked player in the portal. He's leaving USC. You know Duce Robinson, 6'6", 220 pounds, caught 23 passes for just under 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he's heading to Florida State. He's going to cross the country. Now, his father played for the Seminoles in the early 2000s, Dominic Robinson, but really out of high school, I mean, Duce Robinson didn't give the Seminoles much of a look, but that's where he is going to continue his career. Moving on, safety Dylan Thaman. Now, he's heading to Oregon. He was a freshman All-American in the 2023 season, brings 6 interceptions and over 200 tackles. He's leaving Purdue and heading to Eugene to play for the Ducks. Huge addition for Dan Lanning in that secondary. All right, edge Williams-Nwaneri. This was a big one because really, remember, Williams-Nwaneri shocked the entire country just about over a year ago when he committed to Missouri. They were the in-state team. Williams-Nwaneri was the #1 player in the state of Missouri, but also the #1 defensive lineman, #9 ranked player overall in the transfer portal when he hit. So he is heading to Nebraska. A huge pickup for Matt Rule. Nwaneri played in just 4 games as a freshman. Remember signing with the Tigers, but in the end, he is going to be a Nebraska Cornhusker after a very short stint in the portal. Wide receiver Danne Key was a big one. He's another pickup for Nebraska, going to try to add to that wide receiver room as sophomore quarterback Dylan Raiola is looking to, I mean, he kind of had a breakout year as a freshman. How can we not say that? But he's looking to build on that freshman year, and I think Danne Key, who's coming from Kentucky, will be a big addition. All right, another big addition was edge Princewell Umanmielen, who's transferring from Nebraska to Ole Miss. He was the #11 overall player in the transfer portal, and he spent 2 years at Nebraska, very productive. But now, as he transfers to Ole Miss, he's looking to build on that. Last year, he had 22 tackles, 5 for loss, and a sack while playing on that defensive line. He now joins the Rebels, who, remember, they signed his brother from UF, Princely, just a year ago. So looking to bolster that defensive line coming from Nebraska. Moving on, quarterback Fernando Mendoza signs with Indiana. He was leaving Cal. I initially thought maybe Miami would be a good fit. That's his hometown. But Miami didn't really pursue while Indiana pounced. And Mendoza, he's built for it. 6'5", pro-style passer. He can move with his legs as well. Threw 30 touchdowns at Cal. And he's headed to Indiana to bolster that offense. Moving on to wide receiver Nick Anderson, who signed with LSU, the #13 player in the transfer portal rankings. And now Anderson didn't have a great 2024 campaign. He had a nagging quad injury suffered before the season, But in 2023, he really broke out. 31 catches for just under 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's bringing that to Baton Rouge. So these are some of the biggest portal moves that we saw during the window in the winter. What do you guys think? Were there some more important ones maybe that I didn't mention? Let me know. Comment section below.